full disclosure, Peter Thiel, I ran for U.S. Senate in 2018, by the way, in Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah. That was going to be one of my questions. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Peter Thiel was the first one that I met. I looked at the billionaire list because I'm a realist, and
Yeah.
I said, who is at the top, the highest point on the billionaire list
Yeah. Did you
that
actually, you
is,
just contacted him and you said, hey, I'm running for Senate. Will you support me?
yeah, no, I said, I contacted him and say, hey, I'm thinking about running for Senate. Would you take a meeting with me? And he took a meeting with me and I explained it.
How did you contact him? Or did you email like an aide or something? Or you had met him before? Or how, like, you had his email or you had a connection?
Well, Peter Thiel was invited too. This is the first time I think I might be disclosing this.
You don't have to disclose it if you don't want to.
No, I mean, you asked, I'm going to answer.
Okay.
So Elon Musk was not Elon Musk. Peter Thiel, when General Flynn was the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency,
Yeah.
started a series called the Innovation Series, where he brought in, guest speakers that are, iconoclast innovators
Yes.
of their own right in their respective industries. Got to
Yeah.
remember, Peter Thiel, if you followed and looked at his career,
Yeah. I like Peter
he's yeah, so he created PayPal.
Thiel.
He headed up the PayPal mafia, and then he went and did was the first outside investor in Facebook, which later became Fakebook, and then was obviously fast forward. Well, let's just keep it at that up at that point. And so he was invited as a talk about secrecy, and then you got Palantir in the mix, right?
Yeah.
And so he's invited, and I happened to be on that in that meeting in like a virtual teleconference,
Yeah.
and they opened it up for questions. I asked questions, right, etc.
Yeah.
A couple of them, and there was a back and forth. And so remembering that, I was like, you know what? Since I knew General Flynn, I said, hey, can you connect me with Peter Thiel?
Mm.
And he connected me with Peter Thiel. And then Peter took the meeting. And then we talked. And then there was only 3 people that he contributed to that election cycle.
Yeah. Who, JD Vance? You?
No, it was Josh Hawley,
Uh-huh.
Kevin McCarthy,
Uh,
and Ivan Raiklin.
oh, you got oh, that's cool. Well, that's interesting for me then again too. If I ever, I guess, so you need a key meeting with the key billionaire to get some money to run. That's what you need to run.
No, but I mean, my calculus when I ran, and it's gonna, I don't plan on running for anything, but I only align with people. Like I have my own ideology and my own brand, and
Yeah.
then I seek out who is exactly aligned with key things that I am supportive of. If
Yeah.
you're not, like I don't want your money. I don't want your involvement. I don't
Yeah.
want anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So he happened to be at the top of the list. I mean, just by the stroke of luck, if you will. And then he becomes President Trump's tech advisor.
Yeah.
But, but at the end of the day, he's a really critical individual in this conversation as big tech is moving towards President Trump.
Yeah. What was your
Not big
strategy?
tech, but like venture capital.
What was your strategy for running and winning the primary? Because again, this is something that I'm very interested in. Like, I'm curious to hear what your strategy was as kind of like an outsider, right? Like you were not necessarily an appointed person from the Republican Party, right?
Yeah,
This
my
is all
strategy was to be an insurgent candidate,
yes,
and the whole play was you get the buy-in from key leaders, Peter
yep,
Thiel. I mean, this was after he was a Trump advisor, like Trump tech advisor.
yeah,
And then once you get on the ballot, which I had planned that night, I had a fundraiser where I was going to get General Flynn to endorse me,
yeah,
Peter Thiel endorsed me, and then the money would have come in with his networks, right?
yeah. So he get endorsements.
And then once that was put into place, the kind of like the lead candidate that was also a quasi MAGA candidate, he had already had a falling out with the Trump campaign.
Yeah,
So then it really would have been, I think I would have secured the endorsement after being on the ballot, with us winning the primary. And then the pivot would have been easy.
Yeah.
It was basically Tim Kaine would have been running against me, and I would have called on 3 debates in English and 3 debates in Spanish. And then we would have done it on different platforms because he claims to speak Spanish. I mean, he
Yeah.
does. It would have been, I would have destroyed him, John,
Yeah.
like obliterated. Because then that kind of pivots you as a brand of, okay, this is a MAGA Green Beret. So like that creates the necessary credibility with rural and the conservative base.
Yeah.
Now it's expanding to say, hey, man, not only that, but now I can showcase and show off the my other background and capabilities to a
Yeah.
wider audience that
Right.
traditionally, like lemmings, vote for the Democrats. And then I
Right.
could be the messenger to explain, like, hey, this is what they represent,
Yeah.
actually. And I do it in the language that they're accustomed to. Because
Yeah.
in Virginia, 2 main constituencies, you got 800,000 veterans
Yeah.
and then family members. So let's call that 1.5 million of the
Yeah.
8.4 million. And then you have uh, several 100,000 voting U.S. citizen immigrants from primarily El Salvador, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I spent 8 months in El Salvador
Right. With
and
the
then Mexico. I
yeah.
spent 8 months there as well. So then I can draw from personal stories for that to be able to resonate with folks as
Yeah.
I explain what I'm about and the policies in Spanish
Yeah.
as I obliterate Tim Kaine in the process.
So what happened? Who was the guy who actually won the primary, and what
What happened?
sabotage? Yeah, what happened?
The Republican Party of Virginia blocked me from getting onto the ballot by claiming that I did not have enough signatures. And when I called them out to say, hey, show me which signatures are invalid, they showed me finally that they were using a old database and I was using the Virginia registration rolls, which was the one that you're required to use by statute.
Yeah.
That showcased that I had enough signatures to get on the ballot. But
Yeah.
by the time I was able to wrestle out the evidence of what they used to illegitimately
It
remove
was
me
too
from the
late.
ballot. They delayed it to where until the day after the ballots started printing without my name. And then the
Oh,
judge in
wow.
the lawsuit said that, hey, had you submitted a couple days earlier, you would have been on the ballot. But I was like, I couldn't, I didn't have the evidence until
So
like when
Republican
I presented it to you.
so Republican machine fucked you over.
Yeah.
What a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Well, when I ran again, like I probably didn't have as much of a chance, but I always did feel like the Republican machine has their people that they want. And if you're an insurgent candidate, they will do everything in their power to make sure that you don't win.
Yeah. But that's my mistake. I should have looked internally. But I had a pretty solid path and some of the allies that I had put together.
But you don't want to
Uh,
run again?
no,
Really? I feel like you
I
should
think I'm
run.
more effective where I'm currently at.
Oh, well, yes, you are effective, but I think you're a great leader. So maybe you should reconsider
Well,
that at
thank you.
some
I mean,
point. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just here to train in.
Let the gate be opened. I shall meet death head on. I shall meet death head on. Deckard Cain, you've got to get out of here. Beware foul demons and beasts, there are many foes here. The time has come to cleanse my horde. This monastery reeks with evil and corruption. Oh, I hate staining my hands with the blood of foul sorcerers. Eternal suffering would be too great for you, Diablo. Let the gate be opened.